Hi, I'm Dana, and since probably just before I hit the 10,000 subscriber mark, which is still absolutely wild, I'm still really blown away by it. I'm having to film this intro a second time because I swore the first time I brought that up. But yeah, since then, I've had not an insignificant amount of people leave comments asking how to start doing YouTube and how to start making this type of content. And it's the kind of thing where I've had to really put some thought into it, because I think I initially would have just sort of like subconsciously replicated the videos that I've already seen, being like, you need to find your niche and then film your content and then post the content and then people will find it. And like, I watched those videos and did what they told me to for years with no success and nothing happening and not feeling particularly good about my content. Because it's one of those things where I do think that with YouTube you do need to have a niche. But I think that sitting down and like looking through your personality to find your niche, just for most people isn't going to feel the most authentic and real, you know? So as my like ideas and thoughts moved away from that, I felt like I got like way too far into the like, you need to be authentic, you need to be real, you can't lie to people, you don't want to make like parasocial relationships, but you also absolutely should bond with your audience and get to know people, and all of this like almost advice when that's not what you're asking. So I've put like a good little bit of thought into this. And it's one of those things where I really don't want to be like, my content's the blueprint, my content's the good stuff. But also like, you're asking because you've watched my content, and whether it's helped inspire or whatever else, you've watched it and been like, how do I do this? So I should tell you. So first off, I think one of the big barriers for a lot of autistic people, specifically when it comes to creating content, is that it feels like we have to have the right things. Like way back in like 2012 or something, I bought the Rebel T3i camera because it was like the one that the YouTubers had and it was gonna make me really cool and famous. I couldn't figure out how to use it. I literally like, I could not make it focus on my face. I couldn't, like I had to have the camera literally across the room, couldn't be near it, and I still couldn't make it, like, I just couldn't figure it the fuck out, okay? So by the time I'd gotten like frustrated enough with my existence that I was like, I just need to find some fucking people like me, and I'm going to go back to the way that I used to do that and go online and post stuff and see who comes, you know? It was when I'd gotten that frustrated and been like, I don't care about a camera, I don't care about editing, I just need to fucking get it done and get it out there, was when I sat down and just filmed with my shitty little phone and my crappy little laptop at the time. I do have a better one now. We're starting with like the tech side of it. So like, you do need a camera. I've always used my phone for YouTube. Where's my old one? Is it? Okay, I've got like, I want to say it's the iPhone 11 maybe. I used that until it was like smashed and broken and didn't work anymore. I'm currently using the iPhone SE 2020. It's starting to glitch and overheat and have storage issues, and it's an absolute nightmare. And I've always had MacBooks. I got my first MacBook at 16. I've always bought them secondhand. They've never been like all that expensive. Like they're fucking spenny, don't get me wrong, they are pricey. But if you get them secondhand and a little bit old, you're not really paying any more than you would for any other laptop, you know? And then I just use iMovie. I've had a whole bunch of times that my laptops have died on me, or like they've not had the storage, or like generally just shit has gone on. I'm really not a technological person. I don't know how technology works. I'm not very good at it. I film on my phone, I airdrop it to my laptop, I edit out silences and try to make it look decent in iMovie, and then it gets posted. And don't get me wrong, I do want to look at other editing programs. I would like to like improve my editing and be able to like actually do color grading and actually like edit my videos properly. But when you're starting out, it really doesn't fucking matter. You just need to get the content made. And especially because I am making this with the idea that it's going to be like other autistic people that want this video and watch this video, I also think that it's one of those things where like, the important thing is the content, you know? Like, I watch some people on here that really, like, I don't want to be mean to anyone because it doesn't matter, I don't care. But it looks a bit like it's been filmed on potato, and sometimes it's a bit of a struggle to hear. And it doesn't matter. Like, the content is good, what they are saying interests me, I want to hear what they have to say. And that's what matters, you know? I think it's lovely to want to improve the way videos look and want your videos to look nice and all, you know, like focus on your background, try and make it look nice around you, try and have decent lighting, but what you're filming on and the actual quality of it and the quality of your editing, I don't think it does or really should matter. I think often when people really appreciate a YouTuber for their editing, I am like, okay, but what about their content, you know? And like, assuming that people are coming at this from the angle I was, where I really did not know anything, lighting is so fucking important. I started out with this. It came in a kid's like TikTok set from Argos for 20 quid. It had all sorts of shite with it. It had like a green screen. It had like, this did have a stand, it's just absolutely fucked. But the first, up until I moved into the place that I lived in that had the big bay windows and I was like sat at my desk with my bed behind me, up until then, when I was like sat on the couch, I was using that light and it worked fine. Moving in here, I got real fucking lucky because I was gonna be filming on my bed like over there with the window in front of me. Winter owns softboxes, so I have like really fucking upgraded my lighting and I have a softbox with my Universal Studios poncho over it, so it's not as bright as it was. You can film on some like really poor quality cameras and still have it look decent if your lighting is okay. And it's one of those things where I feel like that's the video, you know, like that's how you film your content, that's how you make a video. But it obviously is a lot fucking more to it than that. And I think one of the places that I've really benefited and one of the things that makes this something that I really fucking enjoy doing and really, you know, like I actively like this. I think that's a big one as well, is you should actually like making content. I don't think it's for everyone, honestly. I think a lot of people, you know, especially when people talk about how burnt out they get from it and stuff, I am sort of like, maybe it's just not for you. Because the act of like actually making the videos has never been the thing that burnt me out, you know? Editing can get a little bit over there sometimes, but I do think you should actually enjoy talking, and you know, there's a point to which it is sort of like a performance and you're entertaining, and or at least it is for me. Bear in mind that like we are getting to the point now that's like objective. It's massively like personality based. I think that's the thing that's like put me off making this video, is that so much of it is just get what you already own that you're able to film on and do that and be yourself, you know? Like don't get me wrong, I do like some of my really old content. I do think some of my really old content was good ideas and good content and whatever else. But I also, you know, I was trying so hard to find a niche and to be this and to be that and to brand myself and doing all the things that people usually tell you to do in like how to be a YouTuber videos. And I think that people could massively tell that like it just wasn't me and it wasn't real and it wasn't authentic, and I was trying very fucking hard in all the wrong ways, you know? And I do feel like I've been a bit mean to myself there, because it's one of those things where like, yeah, that is absolutely true, but also I was doing that because I love YouTube and I like the like performance element of creating content, and it was just something that I wanted to get to do with regularity and not feel like I was just screaming into the void. But I do think that the biggest reason that I've had any sort of success, and the reason you're watching this right now, is very much that when I came, like, it's one of those things where like I didn't really have breaks from YouTube. I just never posted consistently. I'd post here and I'd post there and I'd post there and I'd post there, and it was when I came back to it with the like, I don't want to like put my content as like important content, but I also, you know, like I was trying to entertain people previously, and coming back to it with a very like, I have a drive of I want to meet people that are like me so that I feel better about myself and so that I feel like I'm a normal person. And then once I started to find those people, it progressed into the like, oh, there's people here that are like me and that are watching that are in similar positions to what I've been in. Also people who are vastly different to me as well, you know. But all of a sudden I realised all of those times that people said things to me, or I saw things in movies and TV shows and everything else, and it stuck in my brain, and I worked this sentence over and over and over and had this huge life realisation. I can tell people that. Like, all the stuff that I needed to hear, I can say, and other people that need to hear it might get to hear it a little bit sooner than I did and not have to go through all the fucking bollocks, you know? I do feel like I often struggle to say it without having some sort of like saviour complex and be like, I want to help you guys. And like, it is that deep, I suppose, but I also like, it just, I hate this, guys, I do, but it's genuine, you know? Like, that's just how I progressed as a person within making content. And I do very much feel like having, you know, like a message, like an actual driving force that motivates me, like on a personal and emotional level, and that I think, you know, from what you guys tell me, everything comes across to the audience as, you know, very real and genuine, because it is, you know. And I think more than anything, more than like any advice, more than any like tips and tricks or whatever I can give you, this video is very much just meant to be encouragement, because I think that it's so fucking important and in many ways like kind of vital to have as many autistic voices just out in the wild as possible, you know? Like, as much as it's lovely that we have so many similarities, I've managed to find so many people that are just like me, we also have lots and lots of differences, you know? Like, I've seen that more and more with, like, having the Discord and actually interacting with you guys, where it's like we have things about our, like, base selves that are, like, exactly the same in a way that's kind of scary, but then we have these other pit parts that are, like, so vastly different from each other. And I think the more that we show all of that, and the more that we all talk about our individual experiences, both in, like, general lived things as well as, like, the autistic experience, you know, like, I don't think everyone has to, like, overshare as much as I do. I'm aware that lots of people don't want to tell lots of strangers, like, intimate details of their childhood and general life. I don't think you have to be open about everything in order to be open and honest and genuine, you know? Like, you can have privacy, you can keep things back, but just being honest and genuine in the things that you do share and the things that you do decide to tell people is very important and very nice. And I think it's the kind of thing where not only are lots and lots of other autistic people going to find you and feel normal for a fucking minute, you know? I've started using the word normal in videos a bit more often again, because I use it semi-regularly in real life, because so often I do just want to feel normal. And it's not in the way of, like, I don't want to feel like a neurotypical. I want to feel like me, myself, as I am as an autistic person, is normal. And I think the more people that show that it is, you know, that show that, like, the way that we are as autistic people might not be the same as neurotypicals, but it is still normal to us. It is still normal within the autistic community, and that I just think it's really fucking beneficial. And I also, you know, outside of that, I also think that, like, a lot of autistic people are fucking cool and interesting and talented, and, you know, I would like to see more of what we do and see more of that, you know? Like, as much as I focus on autism content because I do, I would love to see more autistic people making entire channels about their special interests and shit like that, you know? I really think that the more that we just share ourselves and show people the way that we are and show each other the way that we are, the better. And I think especially the internet and YouTube and TikTok, like, as much as there are 1,000,001 fucking negatives, like, don't get me wrong, you are gonna get, like, horrible fucking messages and comments sometimes, like, there's quite a few fucking downsides. I do also think we have this massive upside where, you know, like, I can't tell people about this stuff in real life. I can't explain the autistic experience. I really struggle to socialise and talk to people. And if I say, like, 3 sentences about autism, I feel like I'm oversharing in real life, you know? We have this internet space where it is very, I'm putting it here, and the people that want it can take it. I don't have to feel like I'm oversharing or like I'm doing this or doing that or doing this, because you can just click off if you don't want to be here. So I think there's, like, the combined thing of, like, it's been such an incredibly overwhelmingly positive experience for me to be, like, validated by people, to feel like I can just learn about myself and be myself and, like, it's okay, you know? I would love to see more and more people experiencing that from getting to do content creation and getting to make things online and getting to, like, build community with each other and getting to interact with each other, you know? It's much, much easier to do online and on video and things like that than it is in real life. And the more we do it and the more of that type of content is about, the more neurotypicals and just general people out in the world are gonna see it, and I feel like see us for what we are, you know, and stop having this whole, like, somebody with autism, and just see us as autistic people that are, like, autistic people, you know? It's not that big a deal. I just, like, not to get real soppy or meme or whatever, but I really feel like most people have something important and interesting and fascinating to say, you know, and deserve to be heard and listened to and everything else. And in some ways, I do feel like that goes all the more so for autistic people, because we often don't get those chances in day-to-day life like a lot of other people do. And I think that making online content, if you want to, if it's the thing that you have a goal to do, is one of the best ways to just get used to yourself in a lot of ways. Like, like, I used to see myself and hear my voice and stuff and just cringe and be so embarrassed and feel, like, so fucking gross, and, like, it was such a fucking experience for me every time I saw my face and heard my voice. I'm so used to it now. I'm completely desensitized to my own, like, physical corporal being. Don't bother me in the slightest. I barely have a thought about my face. I can look at her right now and I'm like, that's my face. This is how it moves. This is what it does. I don't, you know, like, it just, I could really go on for a long time about how every tiny little element of making videos and making content and posting the content and interacting with people online, all of it has just been such a huge social benefit for me and like a personal benefit. And like I do also very genuinely, sincerely hope that it's helped out some other people and that I haven't just been rambling about my life and oversharing online for several years at this point for people to laugh at. I don't really even know. I don't know. If it's not helping people out, I don't really know why you keep on coming back. So fingers crossed it is. And I also found the fucking like tags page on YouTube Studio recently. So I fucking realised that actually quite a few of you that watch me also make your own content. And I've been like watching bits of it and like, I see ya. So if you're someone else that is making content about, I mean, if you're making content in general, but especially if you're making content about autism, I would really love if you left any comments with like anything you think about what I've said, if you have any like agreements, disagreements, if you've got anything to add, any of that kind of stuff. If we could just make it like a little place where people can go to just get a load of info and be sort of like a little bit inspired to make their own content, I would really love that. Feel free to also mention that like you're someone who makes content and that like people can go and check your channel out. Like I know self-promotion can feel so rude in so many places of the internet, but I really like knowing that you guys are like doing similar things to me and like are doing things that I can watch and things that I can engage with and whatever. I think it's really fun and really cool and part of like the whole community thing, you know? So yeah, if you're not someone that makes content but you want to, or even if you don't want, I just want to hear people's thoughts and comments, and like the whole YouTube internet sphere is something that I find so fascinating and so interesting and definitely have as a special interest to a point, but because I'm like a part of it now, I feel so weird and like braggy and self-important talking about it a lot of the time. So if people can bring stuff up in comments, I would really enjoy that. But I am gonna go now. So you can subscribe here if you want to, I would really love that. And you can also like this video to help me out in the algorithm if you did enjoy it. You can also follow me over on Blue Sky, where I haven't posted anything, TikTok, where I post like reasonably regularly, and Instagram, where I post when I feel like it. And you can follow me on Patreon to get early uploads as well as access to the Discord. And you can also do one-time little donations over on Ko-fi if you fancy it. You don't have to, there's no pressure. It's just there for if you want it. You really don't have to. Okay, whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you're having a lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.